Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Team Down TV's coverage of the CGPL, the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Series, of course. This is round 2, and my name is Uber. I'm here with the ever so effervescent Jish. What a great game we saw last time there. Lagacy running away with it after just turning a few minor mistakes from Avant Garde into advantages. Now, what are we expecting from this game? What do Avant Garde maybe need to avoid if they want to, bring this one out in their favour?
Well, looking at picks and bans, we see three things that they specifically don't want to see again. The targeting ban on Castan earlier, Broom, makes sense. There were problems they didn't want to deal with. I think Avant really need to slow down their game. They need to figure out what their composition needs to do, and they need to execute that properly.
Okay, that is fairly standard advice for them to take on board. Definitely, Braum, Irelia, and Cassidid. New bans here for Avant Garde. They got rid of the old ones. But that being said, I guess they're on the blue side. So if they do want one of those champions that they did ban out, they do have the option here. Lucian is still on the table. Will Kenster go for it again? Was it maybe impactful enough to justify the ban, or a Legacy just going to lane swap on it again?
I think the Cogmore actually is the best pick here. Denying it from Cardred and then just being such a strong pick at the moment. I feel like Cogmore, Lucian maybe, but I don't think it has as much of a priority, and the Zillion. So we didn't see the Zillion ban as we did last time. So both teams really having good priority on it. Pretty okay first choice.
Okay, my prediction is if that doesn't play Cog, it'll be Corky here. He does favour definitely both of those two champions. And Zillion being picked, let's talk about him. Why the fuss about Zillion?
So I think the real credit should be given to a particular Chinese team, but I can't recall their name. But most recently, Faker in OGN just pulled it out and absolutely destroyed in their round of 8 match that they got it. It does everything it needs to. It has insane wave clear. It bullies really hard with the double bomb. Obviously, it has the revive effect. It has the utility through movement modifiers, so you're speeding up your teammate, slowing down the enemy. It's just a really strong pick at the moment.
Okay, well, maybe to deal with that, at least in part, Legacy want Alistar, and they picked him up straight away. Will it be a top lane or a support one? That remains to be seen. I think a few of us are definitely keen to see Ijim back on the Alistar yet again, of course, making some big plays over there against Dark Passage in that one game. They did manage to take off them. Have to see if he will be in that solo lane or the duo now. It looks like Avant Garde maybe even favouring the Thresh here, expecting a potential Alistar support. Well, I mean, who do you pick into Alistar? He's just such a big body, so hard to shift, and now with 70% damage reduction in all ranks of his ultimate, what support is really the one to deal with him?
I think Morgana is actually my favorite choice. I think Morgana, timing dependent, can really nullify everything he does. I mean, we see the Thresh has a similar impact. If you can time your play really well, you can deny his knock up. So yeah, you can somewhat deny his combo, but depending on what else happens, I think Thresh is probably the second best choice.
Right, well, definitely looks like he wants to go for that. Might be the top lane or even the mid lane, Lulu. Depends what they want to do with that Zillion, I suppose. But yeah, that's been locked in for Avant Garde now, and it's a mid lane Rise from Choo Choo's. Is this a particular response to maybe the Zillion being picked? I don't think I've seen Choo Choo's play that in recent memory.
I think I've seen it in a solo queue a bit, so he's definitely practiced on the champion. Rise is one of those champions that doesn't fit everywhere. You can't just play it whenever you want. The other thing is that it's still, there's the slight chance Minky can play at top lane. It's a bit of a flex pick at the moment. Same with Alistar. You don't really know where it goes. But I think Rise is pretty good in terms of he can also run teleport and get back to lane. They can run the same strategy, getting the multiple movement and such. I think Rise is also a strong pick here.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused seeing the hovers here from Avant Garde. If they do opt to go for that Morgana, surely not. No, okay. Shouldn't let myself get sidetracked like that. But Legacy, are they playing for the late game here? It's a Cogmore and a Rise. We know that they had that Alistar Zillion Cogmore idea against Legacy, and we knew against DP. So and we knew that was sort of a late game pick for them. Is that kind of where they're looking right now, or do they have spikes early and mid enough to get them through?
Well, I think they've definitely got the late game factor, but you can't deny they've also got some early game pressure coming out of Elise. really potent level 3 ganks with the cocoon and then the repel gap closing massive distances. You also have to respect that if you miss position early game, a flash pulverize from Alistar can really put you out of position. So I wouldn't say that they're entirely late game focused. I think they have avenues to get through the early game, but they definitely scale really strongly.
Well, let's see if they are treacherous avenues or a walk down the garden path. Lagacy now having locked in that Mundo for that last pick. And it looks like Mickey Wild wants that one as well. So we're looking to see now how the champions get swapped through here. And I don't think anything's going to shock us too much. It's going to be Porcupine on that Lulu in the top lane. I've seen many a Mundo have to deal with Lulu and definitely have a bit of trouble, especially, of course, before Sadism becomes available. What are Minky's prospects early on in the game here? Is he just going to get bullied, or does he have some options here to try and gain his own sense of supremacy?
Yeah, there is always going to be a degree to if they get that 1v1 matchup, which isn't guaranteed. I mean, you can always lane swap that, but there is just that period where Mundo just has to go, okay, I lose the lane, I'll just farm what I can, and then I'll be more relevant late game. The other thing you have to watch out for is that the amount of movement speed that they're going to get on the side of Avant with the W from both champions. I can't recall the spell names, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of quick movements. There's going to be a lot of rotations from that team. So trying to stay safe until late game could be very hard for Lagacy.
Okay. They definitely have to hang on. No one wants to deal with that Twitch as well. We haven't touched on it yet to see Veritas play that champion. Definitely fragile early stages. We're seeing, I feel like I've seen this before. I reckon I saw KT Bullets do this first, or KTB, playing this sort of Zillion and Twitch combination. Of course, you kind of get, the hidden bombs if you double bomb off a Twitch and get them to go in under stealth. Is that almost an attempt here for Avant to give themselves their own sort of strong late game sense? Because of course, Lee Sin we know he steps back into more of a utility role later on. Is it? I don't know if it's a comfort pick. I guess I'm speculating here, Jish, as well, but definitely wondering what the role of this Twitch is, or maybe what niche he's trying to field in this team apart from the obvious AD carry.
Yeah, so in that game that I mentioned, the SKT game where Faker played Zillion, they actually ran a really similar composition with Twitch, Zillion, and Lulu, so they definitely probably have drawn from that a lot. It gives a really strong mid-game spike, and because of the assassination potential, running in as Twitch being invisible with all that move speed and a bomb on your head, as well as probably the Yumu's Ghostblade and then Blade the Ring King, I mean, that's anyone out of position's probably going to die right there. I think it means that they have a really strong transition into late game, so that they'll be looking to sort of find the optimal pick and then hopefully take it from there.
Okay. Well, the question is, I suppose, are Lagacy going to be giving up those picks? And, if anything that we've seen before is anything to go on, Avant Garde were really the ones that were surrendering up those isolated single targets there for the Lagacy to pick off. And with an Elise, with a Rise, the Rune Prison, even though it's a short duration, it definitely stops people in their tracks by definition. Lagacy obviously have their own opportunities to do the same thing now. And every game we sort of start, I always ask the same question: what happens level 1 here? Let's speak in more general terms, Jish. Is it something that teams are wanting to do at the moment in this current meta? Is it a consideration for teams to make that invade to try and gain some early intelligence or information about the enemy jungle, or is it really all about stock standard line of scrimmage straight down the middle and just sit and wait?
No, there's definitely potential for level 1 strategies. I think in Oceania we don't see necessarily a lot of them because teams aren't willing to be very bold, but I think we'll start to see a lot more of it. There's a lot of pressure on teams if they get outplayed at level 1 or they don't get as much information. So we should, I think we'll see a lot more teams starting to group as 5, walk in late, get wards, get an extra buff maybe, just trying to establish that tiny bit faster. I think actually too, on the side of Lagacy, they've got a really strong invade, so I actually wouldn't be surprised to see a late invade coming in this game.
Okay, and we definitely know that teams have opted in the past to use their sort of vision trinkets to gain some information sort of at the 1:10 mark, but that's more knowing about where the jungler starts. An indication of if they're trying anything that's a little bit higher level than that, definitely will be them going for that later invade. So we are into the game, and we'll be on the rib very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. If you have just joined us, thank you for coming across and checking out what's going here with some Oceanic League of Legends action. My name is Mitch Uber Leslie, and I'm joined here with my special guest, none other than Jish. And coming in on very short notice, he's done a fantastic job, I may say so myself. But right now, we're definitely looking here at the Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Championships. Legacy, with their hiatus, still having to play a few games now to try and catch up a little bit. This one now would be their third game, actually, now to be playing. So they've already played 2. They played against already. We've seen them go down to Plantronics NV. Interestingly enough, they weren't able to get over the line, but they did beat Unlimited 2-0. So 1-1 they are at the moment. Avant Garde on the other side of the coin are 2-1 after their win last night against Your Soul Shao Chuffa. They look very strong there. Still looking strong, but lacking a few crucial pieces of the puzzle to bring themselves to a victory here. And obviously Legacy definitely have had an experience overseas where they've gone up against some of the top teams, and they're bringing a few things over here as well. And what Choo Choo said after they came back, he said, the team were trying to make some very, daring plays, but were lacking some fundamentals, laning, last hitting, not getting ganked in the overextensions here. So we can see them trying to rectify that, and they're going to have to keep that going. The same could be said just for Avant Garde as well. They need to try and get out of that lane safely, especially when you're toting a Twitch along in your team.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, so definitely. Both teams probably caught out a little more than they wanted to. Not enough vision where they needed to. Just overall, a really solid highlights for both teams, I'd say. There was a lot of times where you just thought, oh, okay, that's actually really well done. But overall, Legacy just pulling in more of those times, more of those highlights.
And Minky with that cheeky little bed ward up at the tri-bush, and maybe no one would have thought of that. He kind of forced Yozora to come and try and clear that out. Now Impaired, always Spirling's going to block the Sonic Wave there. Yozora wants the other one though, and a bomb will go on towards Impaired. Cutting him down to almost half health now, so Avant Garde aggressive early on, but as you said, it's an early invade. So maybe they're just trying to gain a little bit of knowledge here. Nada missing that death sentence, and Choo Choo's now coming for his own brand of BM. They'll take a little bit of damage in response there as well. So Avant Garde still positioned up near that red buff. Yozora gonna just dance around with Minky Whale a little bit there and drop him fairly low, if I'm honest. The flurry, the passive on Lee Sin, allowing him for that little bit of extra damage in those earlier trades now. Avant Garde setting up camp here at this red buff. Do they take it? Do they push for more? Do they get some vision? What do you do here, Jish?
They've actually got some really important wards. That ward up the top lane is trying to spot out the 2v1. So they're recognizing that they do have possibly the stronger lane after picking Thresh against the Alistar. They can deny his combo. They really want to get the 2v2 matchup. 1, to bully them under, and 2, to hopefully win their bot lane matchup. So I think it'll be interesting to see if Legacy try responded and trade lanes with that, but I think we'll get the 2v2.
That is a very deep ward, and Avant Garde definitely willing to push for that. And yeah, get the read on the 2v1. We know Legacy definitely more than happy to lane stop. They do it quite frequently here, but you can see Kadra and Ejim actually making the push up the top. So Avant Garde will know very, very soon. But now buffs are spawning. Mid lane, it's going to be Choo Choo's Vikensi, and a bomb already over towards Choo Choo's here. He's going to have to be trading carefully up against that Zillion, especially as he starts to get some more AP behind those bombs. Impaired on the blue buff start as well. And Yozora went for his red. Yozora now positioned near the mid lane to make something happen. We can see that Ada has actually appeared mid lane as well. Maybe to try and put some more pressure on. A death sentence very, very far flung there in an attempt to try and catch up Choo Choo's. Probably wouldn't be able to make anything off that anyway. Now Nada going to head towards the top lane. It's a 2v2, so you're dead right. Avant Garde spotted that out, and they've responded accordingly.
Yeah, so I'm not... Oh, here we go, a bit of aggression early, but not too much will come off that. So the matchup's actually having more thought. It could go either way. So there's the fact that Cogmore has longer range and can just bully Twitch out comes into play, but I think that the bottom lane matchup will make it not worth it for them, because Lulu really should be able to bully and bully and bully.
Definitely think that's the first thing on Bookie's mind right now. He wants to make up for last game there, where he had to be the Mundo in the compromising situation that he found himself in there. And you can see EGM and Cartridge plenty of confidence here as well. Nada wants to come forward and try and put some damage down with his auto attacks as well. All lanes, should I say now. You can see Mickey Bar definitely taking a bit of hope there as well. We saw that Kensti and Choo Choo's were happy to trade for extended periods. Now Yozora in the top lane. Impaired is there though. Great cocoon towards Yozora, and the Pulverize to follow up as well. Flash away from Yozora. Will be able to get away. Red buff. Tix Cardred is exhausted and taking a heck of a lot of damage. Veritas gets the first blood. Icanthian Surprise won't really find a target. Nada will be the one to catch that. It's a lot of damage for level 1. Red buff. The double kill goes to Ejim. Maybe not the result Legacy were after, but even still, it's a 2-for-1 trade, but first blood to Veritas.
Yeah, so just a really good presence of mind of both junglers just to know where they had to be then. Obviously a lot of pressure in that 2v2 matchup. and just trying to get the edge in it. I mean, the gold overall, it does go in favor of Veritas over Cardred by about 150 just from the first blood advantage. I think the pressure that Egypt gains now from extra items, extra experience, probably puts that in their favor though.
Yeah. You did right about that small advantage there. You see Jim was more great counter game by Impaired there. And that early cocoon actually onto Yozora prevented him from following up there on the Sonic Wave hitting. And now he's been forced up to that top lane as well, while Yozora going to head towards mid. Choo-Choo's forced back as well. We can see that Kensu was putting a lot of damage down and sitting fairly low in mana at the moment. And I'm not really surprised now. We can see that a little bit of aggression there from Impaired as well. But in the bot lane, Minkiewile got a copy of the damage. Veritas actually swapping back to bot with Nada. And a flash from the death sentence will get Minkiewile out of trouble. Now, why have Avant Garde swapped back to bottom now?
Okay, so the thought process that's followed them is that Kog'Maw is going to bully out the Twitch. So even though that Thresh might be able to make a fancy play against Alistar, overall, they don't want to get bullied out. They just want to get towards that mid game where they get those really potent spikes, but we're looking at a game.
Wow, Ejim comes in, just the headbutt for now. Pulverize will touch onto Nada, but not Veritas, and the Twitch still free to do some damage. Ejim is bot now. Who wins out in terms of this little cheeky lane swap that Avant Garde have done?
So the skewed 2v2 is no one really has an advantage. I mean, the supports are just there to help that person farm. Obviously, on the low range Twitch, you need a bit of help there, and on the Mundo, who they thought was going to get bullied and pressured. But we got another game coming back.
Wow, Cardred copy a lot of damage from Yozora here. He cannot 1v1 that Lee Sin yet. He's got no help as well, but he's just going to accept his fate. Ikathi, it's surprise, will put a bit more damage down, but Impaired now in the bot lane as well. Cocoon is going to whip Veritas, putting a little bit of extra damage now as well with that Contaminator, and Impaired is definitely going to be forced back out of that one. Minkiewile trying to, get some farm, and Ejim, yes, has come towards the bot lane just to try and help his mate Minky. So Lagacy more than happy here to opt for some less than conventional lineups, but we can see that Cardred really suffered there with the entrance of Yozora. Minkiewile coming forward as well. Great pulverize there from Ejim. That's a nice stun, and Ejim gets his third kill of the game. Already has his boots of mobility as well. He's getting a lot of gold in him, spreading some assists as well. Is this an ideal situation though for Lagacy? Do they really want all those kills on the Alistar so early?
Gold's gold, so you always have to respect that. Obviously, it could be better focused. I mean, onto the carries, onto the jungler. It's not the worst in the world. Obviously, it's not the best in the world. I think they'll be totally fine with it though.
Oh, Choo-Choo's going to trade with Kenzie. Put him very low. One more auto attack. Only one more to do it. Dragon is going to go over to Lagacy here. So they took that opportunity in bot lane after crushing, I believe it was Nada now. And they pick up that crucial objective. Or maybe it was Veritas, I don't recall. Now Minkiewile is back in the top lane against Pork. It's been very messy. Lane swaps back and forth here. Teams are just adamant on getting the ideal matchups for them. And we can see now we're returning to a little bit more of a conventional state of game.
Yep, so there's a pretty important buy for the Mundo. I don't actually understand the Doran's Blade. I think maybe that's just to try help him last hit, try give him a tiny bit more health, because the passive on the Doran's shield doesn't stack, but he's working towards that Spectral Shroud, I think, the MR item anyway, that he's going to be building into arguably the Spirit Visage, which is perfect against double AP composition. But they're looking at the blue buff.
Cardred's going to eat a death sentence, though, but Ejim straight in there with the pulverize as well. Avant Garde looking fairly healthy in terms of their bot lane. Cardred, they're forced to try and trade back. Caustic Spittle towards Nada. A little bit of extra damage, but definitely a trade in favor of Avant Garde here as well. And we can see Triumphant Roar now just to give the wave a little bit more durability as it gets pushed in on by Veritas and Nada, but definitely advantage to Avant Garde currently in that lane.
Yeah, so a bit of pressure. That's just going to be the result. All the lanes are looking pretty equal in CS. I think this game is going to be another battle out to who can get to late game.
Okay, well, it's not so much about who gets to late game, but who gets there first. We're in one piece for that matter, I suppose. Now, Cardred looking fairly healthy yet again. Those relic shield stacks definitely helping with him and getting some of that back, and the sustain from Triumphant Roar. Looking now Impaired at taking away his red buff here. Where does he go from here? Does he try and make something happen mid? I mean, we saw Choo-Choo's is strong. He almost took down Kensty in that little 1v1 trade. Kensty got a good amount of burst, but sustained damage from Choo-Choo's now with a blue buff as well. So that Rise 2.0 coming in and stacking up his tier as fast as he possibly can. Now, Porky doing exactly what you said, Jish, just trying to burst down on Minky. Minky wants the extra sustain. Kenzie forced to back away because Impaired has stepped into the jungle, but Yozora is not far behind him either. Will it be a collapse? Yozora hits that Sonic Wave, wants to go in. Repel comes out. Don't really think Kenzie Impaired has an option here. He's got to drop the bombs, doing a lot of damage, but oh, Egypt hits the scene very, very hard. Hits the ground even harder, actually. That Pulverized now going to knock both of them up. Yozora on the backline looking low, but Porky's joined the party here as well. Choo-Choo's drops. Kenzie is going to be still alive. He's going to take down Egypt as well. Everyone got a kill there, if I'm not mistaken. Huge extension from Lagacy, starting with Impaired stepping into the jungle. They weren't ready for Porky. Now Avant Garde pushing mid with 4.
Yeah. I actually really want to give credit to Lagacy there. I think I saw, whether it was intentional or not, Chushi's tried to drag minions down towards the other side of that wall there where Impaired was stuck, and he tried to repel, but obviously the most recent nerf stopping that repel range probably is what got him caught there.
Hensty almost dropping to the infected cleaver of Minky Wow there, and I don't know if Minky was aware if he had his ultimate ability up or not, but regardless, he opted to back away from that one. Kenzie forced to go home as well. Gold lead now, folding out to about 700 gold, so really nothing to write home about, as you may expect. But Avant Garde currently have the kill and tower lead. One little mistake there from Lagacy opening things up for them somewhat, but really it is not a big difference at all, and that's probably pretty obvious to you guys watching at home now. We can see, actually, look at the minimap, a ward being placed fairly deep there towards the red buff of Avant Garde by Ejim just before he heads back there with Choo-Choo's. And you know, again, game's starting to settle. Is Dragon being looked? How soon are they going to try and make it happen? Choo-Choo's and Ejim waiting in the bush. They want Nada. Nada has no idea. Absolutely not. He's going to get room prisoned up, and it's going to be followed up. The CC chain is real. Impaired wants a bit as well. Nada does drop down. That is a 5v4 situation now, an opportunity perhaps for Lagacy to try and make something happen. Dragon is up in 1 minute and 55 seconds, so obviously it wasn't an option at that time, but just a cheeky little pick there. Impaired don't really know if he wants to duke it out there at all with Kenzie. Kenzie now has double Dorans as well as his Chalice as well.
Yeah, so that's really just highlighting the power of Zillion at the moment. For what's a really easy combo to pull off, he just has nothing to reciprocate. Bit of trading in mid lane, just going to walk away.
Okay, definitely has to back away, and we can now see over the map Ejim waiting in that bush for Yozora. Doesn't have much damage to follow up. He wants to defend his pink ward, and he's definitely fighting for it now. The Pulverized towards Yozora just to maybe hold him up a little bit. But Avant Garde now with the ability to clear some of those nice little wards out. It's probably the last thing Ejim would have wanted, but definitely didn't have the backup there at all. So, well, bit of gold going into the pits of Avant Garde there for those wards. Lagacy maybe not getting the most use out of them as much as they would have liked anyway. He's coming back towards lane. He is up in terms of CS as well, a reasonably healthy amount, and it's always a bit concerning when you see that Rise coming out on top in that lane. Nada wanted a bit of cartridge there, but that living artillery to slow him up, and top turret dropping there, care of Porky. That's 2 towers to none.
Yeah, so Avant really coming in to their strength at the moment. The mid game really going to ramp up for them. Twitch getting to crucial items pretty soon, getting to that Blazing King, as well as just the fact of the utility they get from their level 6 ultimates from Zillion with his revive and from Lulu with the wild growth. They have a lot of artificial tankiness, and it's really hard to win fights.
So much protection for Veritas there. And speaking of, Nana wants a descent and missed that one. Minky Wow on the top lane coming towards Porky. An effective cleaver slow him up. And Impaired was there for whatever opportunity may present itself, but none really eventuated here at all. And Dragon is now up the timer, obviously in the hands of Avant Garde and both teams now. Choo-Choo's wants to come down as well. Is he running into something he doesn't want to be a part of? I think so. Trying to go towards Nana. Nana drops the glow very, very quickly. Cartridge doing damage from the other side of the wall, but Kenzie gets a bomb towards Choo-Choo's. Will it be enough? Doesn't look like it now. Still one kill for Lagacy. The teleport comes in for Porky, and Cartridge caught a little bit too deep. He does have the slow. The flash forward for Porky. Another slow. Cartridge is caught out. He's trying to do as much damage as he can. It probably won't be enough, and he is aware of the fact now Minky not able to get in there and influence that one whatsoever. Infected cleaver just towards Porky. More for insult than injury's sake. Impaired now is on the scene, but Dragon is being attempted here. Veritas comes in out of the stealth, and we're trying to take down Porky, but Porky gets the wild giant growth on as well. Veritas now coming forward. Going to take down Impaired easily enough there. Minky Wow with a bomb on him as well. He's ticking down. Ignite as well. Everything you need really for the damage to be done, and Yozora comes over the wall just to tag Ejim with that hit as well, making it a double kill. Avant Garde, very different looking team from last game.
Yeah, and that's just definitely their power spike. I mean, you saw those 2 ultimates crucials keeping Porky alive, and just there's nothing you can do to stop that at the moment. I mean, they didn't even have to blow Zillion's ultimate, and they showed how much damage they have. I mean, Lee Sin as well, a lot of early game damage. Twitch hit his item just now, which is just going to make him snowball a bit more than he already has.
Right, well now we know what the implications of that fight are. It's time to see how Legacy respond to that maybe, and maybe how Avant Garde try and extend their lead a bit further. That was a pretty important dragon, if I'm honest. And the fight that ensued as well. Cartridge is getting so caught a heck of a lot of CC. Soft CC, mind you, but slows on everyone on Avant Garde. And Cartridge just ate a couple too many of those now, and EG wants to clear some boards. He wants to just make it his territory yet again. Cartridge 0-3-3. Veritas is 2-2-2. Does have the Blade of Ruin King as well. Hex Drinker has come up for Yozora as well, of course, as that Spirit of the Elder Lizard Morella Nomicon, the first pick here for Porky. What's the choice there? Is it trying to stifle the healing of Minky Whale, perhaps?
Well, it's really, it's really hard for Lulu at the moment because he can get the Athenes. He needs a mana regen item. That's just has to happen. But he can get the Athenes to get the magic resist against arguably a really heavy magic damage composition, or he goes for the Morella Nomicon and to get the Ignite passive. I just missed a cooldown bot.
That's okay. Yozora went very, very deep for that one. Minky Whale drops hanky enough, yet only has the Spectre's counter. Wow, another double kill coming up for Yozora. He goes deep for that one. Choo-choo. What can he do? Can he spread enough damage here? He's barely got enough to deal with Yozora, and now Veritas. No, a triple kill for Yozora. Oh, God, Choo-choo's just walking into that one. And Legacy, I mean, as different as Avant Garde are looking, so are Legacy. The steal there from Porky. It was a miss-smite from Impaired on the red buff, so that is adding insult to injury now. And Legacy starting to lose their hold on this game.
Yeah, so having got the dragon, they're just sort of getting that crucial gold lead. They're hitting 7k at the moment. Bit of a fight in mid, though.
Wow, double bomb towards the Impaired.
Yeah, it's not going to equal to much, but Avant really
damage a chance. Bit of lag issues there. Sorry about that, guys. Nonetheless, we can see in mid. Avant Garde against I know this gold lead though. Going out.
Okay, so it looks like we're having a couple issues with Uber at the moment. I guess it's time to solo cast. So, you know, pushing lanes at the moment, trying to get a bit of control for Avant. We'll see them sort of walk to each other in the jungle, but just walk away. So the teams really are recognizing that Avant actually has the lead, and Legacy are adjusting their playstyle to accommodate for that at the moment. They seem pretty content with trying to get pressure on this top side of the map. Obviously, having the 2 towers down, don't need to be on Dragon. A bit of an engagement here. Card probably going to sneak away from it. Pretty low. I don't know if he can stay around to save this turret, but he has the living artillery, so he's going to keep a lot of range on that. See a bit of a fight in bot lane. Veritas taking out Minky Whale, doing lots of damage. The execute, maybe not enough. Probably not. The sadism going to heal through. Got a bit more pushing in top lane. There's not a heap they can do to stop that. With Yozora coming around the side. Lands the Q. Oh! Disengage.
All right, well, I'm gonna try and see how we go. So I've got my producer sort of on the line letting us know how it goes. Sorry about that, guys. Shout out to Jish for first solo cast. Hello. You're a natural, mate, but thank you for hanging in there for me now. Legacy trying to defend this top inner turret. He Cardred super low already, and it was Eatium that caught the Sonic Wave there. So won't be Cardred getting Insect out of the lineup at all. But look at that Veritas bottom, split pushing to his heart's content, and picks that tower up under from Minky's nose as well. Not a lot Mundo could do about it. The gold lead is extending further and further. I know I harp on about it, but what a crucial indicator right now of how Avant Garde are performing. 4 turrets to none. Impaired getting caught there. A lot of tools at Avant Garde's disposal to catch out there. Kenzie gonna have to get on out. Didn't have his ult available to him there. We Pulverize is gonna miss Porky, and Ejim and the rest of Legacy are just gonna be happy with the disengage.
Yeah, so really crucial wave clear to keep that top tower. They're purely waiting for that late game. They recognize that they can outscale with the Cogmore getting a bit bigger than Twitch, and obviously Rise being a bit of a monster, as well as Mundo similarly being a monster. The question is, how long will it take them to stall it out, and how much will they lose trying to get to those crucial gold marks?
You know, it's safe to say Legacy need them. They need to hit those points there. We can see not a lot of kill spread over their team at all, and lacking the ability to even roam through their own jungle with any sort of safety. The flash from Nada away from the affected cleaver. Veritas is happy to go on towards this one, and Mikuel doesn't really have a response. He has no ultimate available as well. Easy pickings for Avant Garde right now. They walk straight up that blue ramp. Cardred might be caught here as well. He's going to force the flash. Easy flash burn from Avant Garde, going where they please now, and they have every right to do so. They've just got so much strength behind them right now, and Porky is going to keep pushing top in as well. Avant Garde, everyone is nice and fed. Everyone with plenty of gold on them. Yozora is 8-0-4, and Legacy just do not have an answer.
Yeah, we're really seeing the movement speed come into play here. The invisibility from Twitch catching people by surprise. There's just a lot of assassination, a lot of picks going on.
Oh, you're not wrong here, and I mean, even Zillion only with the 1 kill, 6 assists. Who's the key player here for Avant Garde? What, you know, can we really put their success in this particular match down to any one champion, or is it something in general?
It's generally more the team composition as a whole. I mean, it synergizes really well. They're really putting a lot of emphasis on this Twitch being able to carry them late game, having 2 utility-based solo laners. I mean, they both sort of fall off a tiny bit. They're really going to need this Twitch to ramp up big time.
Well, I mean, yeah, Twitch is already well on the way. It's Cardred maybe that now needs to answer in his own kind of fashion. EGM flashing again. Everyone flashing from the slightest thing because they know the chain of slows to come down on top of them is just going to be too much for them to actually escape. So, oh my gosh, there's actually only 1 flash on the side of Legacy right now that's available. That's impaired. So, carries without that crucial escape ability. Choo Choos will be up first. They can see taking yet another tower. It's a slow burn. It's a choke. It's an inexorable slide down if you're Legacy. Going to climb up if you're Avant Garde. They're looking good. Just got to hold on here and close this one out. Gold League now is extended well and truly out of that 3 to 5k buffer that you referred to last game, Jish. And towers are falling like dominoes. 5-0. Just to reiterate the fact there, Nada looking for opportunities with his death sentence there just under that tower. Avant Garde are more than happy to push lanes in and siege this out for a while. They're so very, very strong. Do Legacy have a chance? Honestly, let's be real here. Can Legacy actually fight and win, or are they just going to have to crumble?
No, there's always the chance for comebacks. I mean, they have more individual scaling champions, but we're going to have a pick in the top lane. No, we're not.
Right. Well, we almost knew it. I think that's merely because the camera wanted to see Porky do the same thing to Minkuel over and over again, which is put damage on towards him. But the real story is definitely in mid lane right now. Avant Garde are happy enough just holding this lane and not even thinking about Baron yet. More than happy to just try and take these objectives, with Legacy just lack the capacity to defend in any real sense. More clearing coming out here from EGM. Really wants to get rid of that ward, and Ozora is such a key player right now. Not even so much digging people out in a utility aspect, more just beating people's faces in until they just die and he gets the gold for it. So you can see his build is reflecting that as well. Now going for a bit of tankiness with that giant spell, having hit 3 sweepers as well on both sides of the team. So you can see how much they're valuing vision. It is nice to see from Oceanic teams. And Youmuu's Ghostblade done on Veritas as well. Attempt there from Choo Choos to try and start a fight. Porky may still be caught yet. Plenty of damage going towards him, but Legacy just running out of the range to do that. But now they're grouped with 5 in mid. Mickey Wales probably wants to step away from his team with the bomb on his head, but now no wave yet for Legacy. Spiderlings don't really count. They can't really take a tower here as well. Dragon is still not up, and not up for a little while yet. So no key objectives for Legacy to take other than the ones that are staring them in the face. The ones that they haven't managed to take yet at all this game, Jish. They need this mid tower.
Yeah, and that's really what's hindering their performance so far, is that they don't have towers. They're not in any position to be saved by their towers, and they've actually taken none. So they're at this really bad spot where nowhere on the map is that safe, except maybe behind their inhibitors.
Right. See what they can scrounge up here. Legacy just looking for rations in their jungle. Minky trying to have the golems, so that double golems for himself. that top lane, and Porky's never too far from him. He's always there, continually pushing that lane in. And the Triforce, though, I might just point out on Cardred, going to be handy as well. Rodovade is still stacking up. We know Choo Choo's is going to take a while to get big. We know Mickey's going to take a while to get big. It's a seesaw. Once Legacy gets to that later game, it's going to be when Yozora starts to drop off, and that's a lot of gold on a champion that is not able to do what it could in the early stages. That may be a glimmer of hope for Legacy here amongst a hell of a lot of blood, and most of it's their own covering the rift impaired now. Clearing that ward in the bottom. Legacy doing a decent job of holding waves off, and Dragon's about 1 minute and 30 seconds away, so we may see a similar dance until we get a little bit closer to that time. Can Legacy really afford to extend for anything until then?
They really need to keep what they've got at the moment. They have to just hold on. They've got a lot of wave clear. I mean, Cardred with the living artillery, he's going to keep waves off towers. They really need to stall this out, but they can't afford to lose that Dragon.
Avant thinking about it, at least giving him a bit of a tickle, pulling Legacy out of their position. Now they're kind of caught as well. Legacy just setting up in their own red buff side. And the flash forward, the distance finally hits on the EG, but he shakes it off with the triumphant roar. It's going to be a headbutt as well towards Porky to knock him away. Excellent disengage from Legacy. They put themselves at great risk by setting up for what they thought would be a Baron steal. And instead, Avant tried to turn on now. Choo Choo wants to fight Kenzie. He's going to eat a death sentence instead. Bomb will go off on his head, spreading continuous amounts of damage through Legacy's ranks now. They are still healthy enough here for what could be a fight. Dragon now 37 seconds away. And Avant Garde continuing to take liberties here inside this blue side jungle. They've definitely checked their privilege lately, I think, and they're making good use of it here. Choo Choo's again wants to make something happen, but there's just no opening and there's just no follow-up.
Yeah, so that's just the strength of this Avant composition with all the move speed modifiers. They're able to sit there and bait out the Baron without actually doing it. They force Legacy to come and check it, and they almost get the pick.
Most, but not quite. You can see there's plenty of pick potential for Legacy, but Avant Garde are happy to, by and large, stay together at this stage. They know not only do they have strength in terms of the dollar bills that are falling out of their pockets, but also the numbers as well. Yozora and Kensti want to add to that. Dragon has now been taken away. Legacy do not have the option to defend. They're not waiting on any inhibitors to spawn. They're not waiting on any Baron buffs to run out. They are just having to defend, and they don't have a read on this Dragon at all. Avant Garde had it completely watered out. That's because Legacy haven't had a chance to even set foot onto that river, and they dare not do that as well for risk of overextending. So again, just clearing their jungle, just trying to push wave, just trying to get some money. How much longer can Legacy afford to do this?
Well, it's really, Legacy have put their foot where they're going to stand. It's really on Avant now to make a play, make something happen, or they can really just try to keep playing this war of attrition, just denying them as much of their jungle, denying them any vision. It's eventually going to snowball out.
Well, Legacy, maybe they're happy with the war of attrition. Maybe they can hold on and hope for that late game, which is, I guess, what their team is based around. Choo Choo's knows he's not spotted in that bush there, which just cleared the pink ward. Zora now getting slightly caught enough, which I don't really think so. Choo Choo thinks about it, tries to put some damage down, but now here we go. The Talisman of Ascension being popped. Veritas wants something. Choo Choo's got a flash with a slow. He's got to be good. Veritas looking for Cardred now. Cardred getting chopped down too quickly. The Captain surprise, not going to hit onto anyone crucial here as well. Ejim getting a pulverize up only onto Yozora. He's going to get away from that tower. Ejim will drop down. Double kill for Veritas. That's going to be another kill coming up for Kensti as well. Everyone is falling. This time it's Legacy. Choo Choo comes in to throw a little bit of auxiliary damage here, but gets himself thrown in the mincer instead. And we of course see that Chrono Shift coming out from the Zillion to keep the rest of his team alive. A 4-for-0 tower inhibitor, you better believe it.
Yeah, that's Avant are just taking this game now. They've recognized they're ahead. They know that their comp can outduel that of Legacy's. They just want to get everything they can and close this out as fast as they can to get to that game 3.
Was that wishful thinking from Legacy pushing in that side river bus, trying to start a fight there? We saw the pulverize went on towards Yozora. Is that the target they wanted? Because it looked like they were really out of their depth there.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation because even if they get any target or any pick, it's really hard to kill them, but they got a bit of a catch backing away from it. They have so much artificial tankiness and survivability through the ultimates that even with the pick, it's really hard to actually get that initial kill.
Almost as if Legacy are looking for a window where either Porky is not in that, close enough to lend his wild growth to a champion, or Kensti can't use Chrono Shift, or God forbid what else. But opportunistic they are trying to be, but they're not able to forge any concrete lead out of it at all. And Legacy, you're going to appreciate the fact they're looking for stuff, to happen. But Avant Garde are turning up nicely, or at least sticking together. Legacy now, you can see 28 minutes and 40 seconds, 30 minutes is coming up. Baron's still up, hasn't been attempted yet. Well, only slightly from Avant Garde here, but you can see these items are coming out. And what is standing out to you here? There's some scary items, especially on Avant's side of the ledger.
It's across the board. Everyone is hitting those crucial item marks, hitting pretty much three items across the board, and whereas compared to the one on the side of Legacy, these fights, there's going to be nothing.
Oh dear, wow. Veritas knows how to 1v1 at least, and Choo-Choo's getting completely decimated there. He tried to turn tail, but there's nothing he can do. Yomi's Ghost Blade is crucial, especially trying to make the 1v1 happen now. Legacy with one less player and probably two less players than they'd like to have at this stage, I think. And they've got to back away here. Baron definitely in the back of the mind of Avant Garde, but they're looking to push towards this mid lane again. Veritas going into stealth, wants to make a pick impaired. Looks like the target here. And a pause comes out. So we can take a deep breath here. And EGM going to let us know eventually what happened. A bit of lag. They're going to just ready back up and play it. I think impaired, maybe concerned about getting caught out. That maybe explains why it happened, but it looks like Legacy are happy to play on nonetheless. So I'm going to resume the game here and probably see Legacy just fall apart. Impaired now. He's surely going to drop. Kensti wants to go straight up the mid as well with the rest of his team and pick up that inhibitor. It's going to repel away. Will it really come to anything? Oh, not quite. He'll die on the periphery there, and EGM is going to get caught as well. Tries to headbutt Yozora away. Porky will pick that final one off as well. Minkybar now getting surrounded. A bomb on his head. And not the good kind at all. He tries to throw the infected cleaver towards Kensi, but that inhibitor will drop now. Will they try and finish the game? It's a 3v5 and fairly long cooldown respawn time is there. Choo-Choo's getting caught again. Polymorphed up as he tries to back away. Avant Garde have their health for now, at least to deal with these towers, but Veritas tanks both of them for probably 4 hits. And Avant Garde cannot finish just yet.
Yeah, so final movement and saving great for Legacy, but they're really just delaying the inevitable at the moment.
This is not where they want it to be right now. I'm sure of it. With some classy lane swaps, but Avant Garde read them like a book, really, from the very beginning. That ward right up the top near that inner turret, let them read into that lane swap. They decided that they wanted to go 2v1 bottom, and they kind of just did what they pleased from there. Good rotations, good communication, and just really started to win. I think, we saw the edges start to fray a little bit around 10-12 minutes. The little fight in mid where I think it was a 3-for-none fight. Yozora is so crucial in the early stages now and still making his presence felt. A desperation Baron coming out here for Legacy. Avant Garde aren't in position, but there will be in just a moment. This Baron is not going to drop quick enough at all. Cardred on the edges trying to do some zoning of his own, but he's a squishy target here. Surely Choo-Choo's wants a bit of Kensi. He's going to go one-on-one to him as well. EGM got to go fairly low. Choo-Choo's with a bomb in his head, backs away. Get away from EGM. You don't want to kill your own man. Oh dear! The rat-a-tat-tat coming over the wall from Veritas. That's nasty. What a massacre. And he picks up a double kill there. Choo-Choo's is probably the next one they're looking at. EGM trying to stall for time. Triple kill for Veritas. Now Yozora going very, very low. He will still pick up Choo-Choo's. That is the surrender from Legacy. It's a 1-1 game. And what a decisive showing there from Avant Garde in game 2.
Yeah, totally. They haven't been fazed by their loss, and they've just picked up and gone straight back for it. Really impressive win. I guess we'll see with the change in picks and bans to see if they can get the same comp again next game.
This is what we'd like to see, Jish. What a great map from Avant Garde, guys. We're not going to waste your time at all. We're going to have a quick break. I'm going to catch my breath, and we're going to be right back into it there with this Logitech CGPL Season 2 Winter Champions. It's Game 3, Avant Garde versus Legacy Esports. Do not go anywhere.